Welcome to Center Hice Productions. This is November 23rd, 2023, the morning after the Habs went to Anaheim. It's going to be the review of the Anaheim-Montreal game. Okay, please first hit the likes and the subscribes down below in the right-hand corner. And we muchly appreciate your support, trying to grow the community and give you straight up uh, updates and reviews of the Habs games. So if you could tell your friends, pass it on. Let's grow the community. Let's try to get 100, 150 likes anyway. This is going to be a review. Mind you, I did not stay up this game, so I'm kind of stuck with highlights. It was just far too late here. When the game's coming on at 11-ish, it's just too late of a game. And so it's more of highlights, watching the replays. We went from there. So couldn't get a total feel for the game other than you had to go by the clips and from what we could see and from the responses of the players and Marty. So anyway, we're going to give you the stats first. The Habs went into Anaheim on their California trip to start it off. We were outshot 33 to 28. However, even though we were outshot this time, it was a little closer, so there was a better response from the Habs. That was good to see. Okay, scoring summary. Habs got 2 goals in the first period, so they came out pretty quick. And you could see the message was loud and clear, not getting behind the 8 ball right away. Second period, Anaheim came on a bit, but the Habs at least kept a 2-goal lead. So the Habs scored 1 goal, Anaheim scored 2 in the second period. And then they each got a goal in the third. Final score, Montreal 4, Anaheim 3. Montembeault was in the net. From what I could see, I see some over. He had a good, strong game. However, let's keep things in context. I notice Eric Engels likes to blow things out of proportion. It was an all-right game. Our goaltenders have had all-right games. There was nothing outstanding here. You go back and look at those clips, and there were some soft goals, 2 or 3 of them on Montembeault. One of them was nothing you could do. But there's definitely 2 or 3 that are questionable. 2 for sure that he could have stopped. And the old adage, these guys keep going down, and they leave the whole top of the net. If you're not elite, like you're not Carey Price, well, you're not going to have a shot at stopping those. You're not in that category. So you're getting burned over the shoulder with shots, and very simple shots. And so, yeah, he still shows soft goals in this. However, he did stand up on his head in the third, made some, well, I'd just say he stood his ground and made some crucially timing saves when it counted. But Eric Engels blows it out of the water like this guy should be given more of the time. We're seeing, half-decent responses from all of our goalies. So there's no clear, Allen in the early going was the leader. He didn't get credit for it because he will never get credit for it coming out of Engels' mouth. That's for sure. There's always, with his adages of reporting, there's always a player or 2 he picks, especially when they have the French name. He runs with that. So wrong. I won't give it to you that way. I'm no. I don't choose favorites. I choose who plays what by the way they play. So good, solid game by him. No Anderson butts. I'm proud of him. He played a good game. Made stops when he had to. But nothing outstanding. Okay, we got to get realistic here. Call it what it is, instead of trying to glorify only certain players. Our goalies have been okay. They haven't been outstanding, but they have kept us in a lot of games this year. So anyway, so this shows that there was a clear response from Montreal from the practices. We got Newhook in the recap. Alex Newhook scored with 3:20 remaining in with his second goal of the game. and the Canadiens beat the Anaheim Ducks 4-3 Wednesday night to snap a 4-game losing streak. Caden Gooley and Mike Matheson also scored. Sam Montembeault made 30 saves, which is pretty, it's pretty good. And the Canadiens won on the road, second time in 6 games. It's absolutely big for us, Montembeault said. We're on the road for like 10 days here, so we wanted to really get the first one here. Mason McTavish had 2 goals and an assist, so he had a strong game. And Frank Vetrano had a goal and an assist, so it seemed to be a lot from just one line in there. In the Ducks' 4th straight loss, John Gibson finished with 24 saves. They're close games, the games you could win, Anaheim coach Greg Cronin said. We were winning them a month ago. Montreal blew 2-0 lead and a 3-1 lead before New Hope finished off a 2-on-1 rush from Jake Evans to pick up just his 3rd in 10 games. I think the 3rd we kind of just were gripping our sticks and worried about losing it, Evans said. It's great when you pull it off at the end, but a lot more to clean up still. There's a lot more to the game, so he's correct. This game shows that McTavish got off his 2nd multi-goal game to pull the Ducks through to 3-2 at the 6-minute mark of the 2nd period, with Vetrano setting him up by spinning around on the centering pass from chasing down Tristan Luneau's pass. It was the first career point in 3 games for Luneau, and who was the 53rd overall pick in the 2022 draft. Vetrano tied it at 3 with 8:29 remaining in the 3rd period, beating Montembeault 5-hole for his 13th goal of the season. That line was dominant, Cronin said, but we can't be a one-line team. We're like relying on that one line almost every night, and it's hard to win that way. After allowing open goals in 4 of their past 5 games, the Canadiens struck quickly, with New Hope scoring at 5:59 into the 1st period after a power play expired, and Gooley following up with his 2nd goal of the season 38 seconds later. It gave us confidence, and the whole team was playing well, Evans said. I feel like we are coming in waves at the beginning too, and everyone's got the confidence to make the right plays. Got away from it for a bit, but for the most part, I think we stuck together. McTavish cut it to 2-1 less than a minute into the 2nd period, quickly capitalizing on power play by tipping Leo Carlson's pass between McTavish and Luneau. Carlson and defenseman Pavel Mityukov, who had the secondary assist. Anaheim became the 4th team in the past 30 years to have 4 players under the age of 21 to record a point in the same game. The Ducks were the first to do so since 2011-2012 Colorado Avalanche, when Ryan O'Reilly, Matt Duchene, Gabriel Landeskog, and Stephen Elliott each found the score sheet on those 2 different occasions. Montreal responded 56 seconds later with Matheson, who beat Gibson with a wrist shot from the high slot to restore a 2-goal lead. I loved our compete level, Canadiens coach Martin St. Louis said. We found a way to win it. It could have gone the other way, absolutely, but the team needed a win tonight, and we found a way. Up next, Canadiens visit San Jose, and the Ducks visit Los Angeles. So, first start of the game was Alex Newhook with 2 goals, +2. Good to see him responding from the message of Martin St. Louis at the beginning of the week. McTavish had 2 goals and assists, -1. Vetrano was the 3rd star, and he had 1 goal, 1 assist, -1. Scoring summary. 5:59, Alex Newhook scores, assisted by Tanner Pearson and Brendan Gallagher. 6:37, Caden Gooley scores on him. What a nice cross pass this was. And they were nice, similar goals. But the Gooley, that breakout by Evans, or Yes, Jesse alone and assisted by Evans, that is. And Jesse really fed that through beautifully to Gooley with just having to tap it in. Good cross ice pass, just threaded it right through the seam, and that came at 6:37. So right there, you had a 2-0 lead in the first period. Then the second period starts. Didn't take Anaheim long. 53 seconds in, Mason McTavish scores, assisted by Leo Carlson, Pavel Mityukov on the power play. So our penalty killing still needs work. And then at 1:49, Mike Matheson, not long after, responds and getting his fifth goal of the year, assisted by Nick Suzuki and Justin Barron. That made it 3-1. McTavish came back again at the 6-minute mark, assisted by Frank Petrano and Tristan Leno. So it was 3-2 at that point. Then in the third period, 11:31 in, Vetrano scores a goal assisted by Mason McTavish and Cam Fowler. So there's your tie game, and then the 16th, in that process, Montembeault made a couple of big saves to hold the Habs in, and at 16:40, Alex Newell gets his second goal of the game, assisted by Evans. And Evans had a strong game as well. Then the game stats: 28 shots for Habs, 33 for Anaheim, 19 hits to 25 for Anaheim, 30 face-offs to 29 for the Habs. That was very close. 0 and 3 on the power play for the Habs, and this is what I'm saying. This power play and this penalty kill are still issues. Still, there's, like I said, they're not totally fixed by any stretch of the imagination. Is showing we're not getting enough from the power play and their penalty kill. He is allowing goals right now, and the power play for them was 1-for-1, so they were pretty good on theirs. Penalty minutes 4 for us, so we showed a strong disciplined game, a much better disciplined game, and they had 8. Giveaways 7 for the Habs. That's where we got to clean things up. I think that's how we seemed to let them back in. 4 giveaways for them, 0 takeaways from them, and they had 10 takeaways from us. Block shots 15-14 for the Habs. So that we showed a much more disciplined game, and Marty's message definitely resonated with the club. Good to see, and a victory comes out. We stopped the bleeding after a 4-game losing streak, and it sounded like, from what Marty said, we had a forecheck tonight. So that was something they worked on hard in practice for the last couple days, and it paid off. But there was a bit of a let up there in the second period, and this is where they got to clean things up a bit and try to get us 60 minutes of straight up hockey, solid hockey, to grab victories, or these games with the tougher teams coming are going to go the other way. Sounded like a good matchup. We needed this game. Proud of them. It's a new, definitely big response there. And Evans, to me, from what I can see just in the highlights, those two really stood out. Gooley seemed to have a great game. Matheson had a good game from what we could see in the highlights. So it's and I didn't hear much on Struble. I was hoping to, but it sounded like he did all right. There was no, sometimes when you don't hear anything, means you've played all right. So it's hard to say. Just doesn't see nothing disastrous. So Marty was quite happy, but he did say this game could have went either way. So that goes to show you something. And the team did say Sam stood up when he had to, and made big saves to keep them in, and that's great. But we don't need reporters going around blowing things out of proportion. Man, I seen the highlights of the goals, and they were soft, very soft, and and that goes to speaking on behalf of what I'm seeing with all 3 goaltenders. There's some soft goals going in, but so there's no clear out, clean cut leader here. Just because Sam's in the net when we get the response, I'm sure if Jake or Caden are in there, you're going to get the same, especially Jake, you're going to get the same type of play if he can have a team play that strong in front of him. So for these reporters going off half cocked, this is the type of reporting I get annoyed with, because they blow things, and they've got a preference and an agenda. And I will attack those agendas when I see reporting like that any day of the week, hands down. I don't care that he's a guest on Tony Marinaro's show. This is one of the guests that I will not follow, because the stuff that comes out of his mouth is just ludicrous. He acts like he knows something. He knows a little bit because he's reported so long, however, and being around the team. But however, he's got an opinion that is so off the boards. And if you were, a hockey player yourself, you're kind of sitting back laughing at some of the commentary, some of the opinions he comes out with. So I mean, it's great. I love Tony's show. However, this is one of his panelists that I have not an ounce of respect for his commentating. Sometimes he says some things that are okay. That's the most you can get out of him, because most of his stuff is off the wall. There's prejudices and preferences in his reporting, and I don't buy it. That's why I like Basu and Stu Cowan much better, and I wish John Liu was still here, because you got more straight up reporting with those guys. No, not you didn't see biases come forth on players' behalves, and so let's call a jack what a jack is. An apple what an apple is, or an orange. Don't call something that's not gold mine, and blow it out of proportion. These goaltenders are playing neck and neck at the moment. If they can get this type of response to their team, they're more than likely going to have better outings. So, like I said, Sam wouldn't have had any better outing against Boston the way the Habs played in that last game, and we've seen that all season. So stop blowing, tooting the horn of certain players, Ingles, because it just doesn't wash. Uh, Sorry. Man. Anywho, it was looked like a respectable game here, and again, Habs did all right. Now let's hope we can not get lackadaisical and go into San Jose and take that game, which is a game we should be able to win. And let's have the same type of response. I'm guessing, in my opinion, this will be where the way the order has been bouncing. It will be Caden's turn, Primo's turn to play the next game, I'm assuming. And, no games tonight because of Thanksgiving, the holiday in the States. So, great performance. Go Habs, go. This gets us at least out of the skid. And if we can get that type of performance, that's all the fans want to see, is a half decent response where at least you're in the games, right? That's all we expect. Respectable hockey. And this was respectable. So we'll take it. Great game on Newhook's behalf. And Evans' behalf, from what I could see, and Gooley and Matheson looked like they stood out as well. So, other than that, it was hard to judge, because these late games, there's no way in the world I'm staying up for a late game, and most of us don't, just because it's this California ride is too much. Anyway, thank you for joining me. We're Puck Drop First here at Center Hice Productions. We thank you. Please hit the likes and subscribes down below, and pass on the word to grow the community. And I thank my followers who are on the channel. I muchly appreciate your support. I don't take it lightly. And let's get 100 likes if we can. Let's get some subscriptions going as well. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, I'm doing a 3 to 4 part series. I don't know how many for sure, but I'm kind of come out right after this tape and work on part 2 that I'm going to come up with very shortly today. You'll see a second video coming, so hope to see you then, and then we'll also be reviewing the San Jose game when that comes. Thank you for joining me, and God bless.